Hey everybody, this is Joe with Joe's Premium Firewood, bringing another fun-filled, exciting video. Today's video I'm going to talk about how hard of a job it is to dry firewood. I'm going to set you up here on the tripod and we'll get her into it. Here we go. So this wasn't the video I wanted to make today. There's a lady on Gull Lake where we go out on the boat in the summer, and this summer I drove by her house and there was an ash tree that was laying on her roof of her garage, and I called my realtor friend and he was able to get me her contact info, but by the time I got a hold of her, she had already had a tree service come in there and take it down, which I would have did it just for the wood because it was such a nice piece of ash. And so anyway, the tree service did it. I don't know how much he charged her, but I met up with her a couple weeks ago with Mike to look and see what she had, and they've got like some ash that's already cut, and the tree service actually did a pretty good job of cutting it into 16-inch blocks. There's some bigger blocks there. I'm not sure what they are. When I do go down there, I'll make a video of that, and then maybe you guys can help me identify it. And then there was some wood cut that over at the neighbors. It was all oak, and it was I didn't see anything over 18 inches, and it looked dry too. So she said she didn't think the neighbors would care if we had it. It's an empty lot right now, waiting for a house to be built on it. So I think it's just going to go to waste if I don't get it out of there. And she said I could just have it. And then there was a couple trees. I would probably need Herb's help to drop. And then there's stuff on the ground that I can cut. So there's about 3 or 4 truckloads of dry wood over there at least that I could get once I have time to go over there. So instead of, she never got back to me today, so I just called up the next person in line, and I'm going to go do a delivery of a oversized truckload to Kalamazoo. But back to the video about how hard is it to dry wood. Here you go. There it is. It's drying. This is the best way to do it. Put it in single rows with this metal sheeting over it. It works a lot better than the tarps covering it. But tell me this isn't easy. And if I were to have to season everything for what I sell, I'd have to have enough for a year that's dry and then enough that's drying. So I would say that would be about 1,500 face cords that I'd have to have stored like this, where one of it's dry and then the other 750 face cord is drying, and it would just take up so much space here. So it's just not feasible, and that's why I'm trying to get the customer to do the easy job, which is drying. You just let it sit there and cover it up and do it just like this. You don't throw it into a pile and cover it with a tarp. That's not how you do it. This is a lot easier. This is a lot easier job than running a chainsaw or picking up big logs and pulling them out of the truck and then throwing them out of the splitter and then splitting them and throwing them. Even deliveries, which is the second easiest job. You pick up processed wood, throw it in the truck and unload it. That's easy too, but this is by far the easiest job, and that's why I have this week I've sold already 2 truckloads I delivered of green wood to a customer, or 2 different customers, and they're going to do the drying, and I got like 3 others that are willing to buy green wood, and that's how I do it. I'm going to go show you how my brother dries it, and that's probably not the best way to do it, but here's my other area where I'm drying. The saw surgeon's supposed to bring me some oak, and I'm thinking about having him drop it off right here. It's green, and then I'll fill up those 2 racks with it. His truck should fill it up. So I know I just did a inventory video recently, but I want to just show you, this is my other area, how I dry the wood. And I'm trying to get this area filled up, bay number 2, with green wood, like all that wood is. I want to go a little bit higher across the back and then build a wall right here and then pack it in here by the end of the year. So once that's full, that's all my dry storage area. And then I rely on the customers, and I know some customers do watch my videos, and like I say, if you have the space and you can do it and get it early and do the drying, I would very much appreciate that. You can see how we got the wood here. A lot of times, well, this stuff's already dry, it's just wet from sitting out. But when we put it right here, this is an excellent way to dry the firewood. Under an overhang, basically facing the sun, facing south, and it gets plenty of sun and wind there. So but if it was greenwood, it'd have to sit there for a year. And I get it. A lot of people don't want to. A lot of people don't want to have it there in the way or in their garage, and they don't have the property to do it. I totally get it. But if you do have the space, I would much recommend that you order early and do the drying. This is how not to dry the wood. Yes, this outside area will get dry. As you can see, it's already turning gray. And this outside wall here and the top, but in the center, there's a spider on my thumb. It's not going to dry. I've already learned that lesson. Once you get down in there and it sits there for a year, it's just not going to dry. You see the spider? You get the little tiny one. But anyway, I guess, and the other alternative to drying the wood, if you don't have the space or the time, which takes like a year, how I got it there at least, oak does not dry very fast, is to artificially dry it with a wood drying kiln. And I haven't really looked into it, but the way I see it, it would probably cost $100,000 for something that's like, I don't know, 12 by 12 by 12, and you put it in like metal crates or those totes, like that Back 40 uses, and push it in there, and then turn on the oven, either electric heat or gas, for like 12 hours, and then dry it. Well, you're gonna have to have like a skid steer with forks on it or a tractor to load and unload, and then you'd have to, once you take it out, then you got to transfer the wood into the truck. It just seems like a lot of work, and I would think that would cost like $100,000 or probably $100,000 for the oven, and then the supporting equipment would be another $100,000. So that's $200,000, and then all that time and gas or electric that you use. It's just, I will do that if everybody agrees to pay $1,000 a face cord, or the customer could buy a vat or a kiln and do that and do their own drying artificially, or they can order early and set up something like this and dry the wood. I know I'm whining and crying and whatever, but I'm just getting a lot of feedback from people giving me a hard time about saying it's a customer's job. Well, this is for sure the easiest job in firewood. So, all right, why don't you guys check out some of these videos at the end you haven't seen, and we'll see you guys at the next one.